If they don't have some to do like poverty audit, believe me, it's trackable. In the old days, you could actually take your car, move to a different city or state, and it was yours. They couldn't find it. Well, that's pretty wild. You have an easy pass? Well, that's nothing. Again, that's just surveillance. What about mind control? Oh, this is where it gets really, really good. And you know that there was a time, my friends, during right around World War II, and before that, when we suspected that the Chinese, the North Koreans, remember the Pueblo? Remember Lloyd Booker? Remember the Pueblo? Remember Ride, Captain Ride? Written by, of course, Blues Image. Mike Panera, Tampa Zone. 73 and sailor from the San Francisco Bay. Supposedly they said it was about that, but they came back and these people were all weird. Always the enemy, they're into that. Well, during World War II and immediately after, U.S. intel agencies became rather concerned about reports of Soviet and Chinese brainwashing or menticide, menticide. And the fear was that enemies had developed, techniques to control prisoners or extract information. And this anxiety drove secret research into interrogation, hypnosis, and drugs. Right? 1950. Operation and Project was different. Bluebird. The agency was the CIA Office of Security. Bluebird was one of the first formal CIA programs, all declassified, examining behavior modification. It explored whether, for example, hypnosis or drugs or psychological techniques could compel someone to reveal secrets or acts against their will or do things. This is where, of course, this presupposed the Manchurian candidate. It also studied how to defend against it. Then, I was 50, 1951, Project Artichoke. Why? Why Artichoke? But remember, if you talk about Project Artichoke, people will think you're crazy because they've never heard of it. And by the way, anything they haven't heard of must be crazy. 1956. 1956, from 51 to 56, CIA. It expanded Bluebird. And it declassified, by the way, documents show it examined hypnosis, sedatives, such as sodium amytal, pentothal, LSD and other chemicals, sensory deprivation, covert drug administration through food or drink, and one of the most barbaric ways to destroy and to control behavior, and that's overnight radio shifts, which I'd rather not get into right now because it's too barbaric. Some proposals included dosing subjects without consent, which was done. The project explored whether a person could be induced to perform certain acts, even violent acts, against their own interest. Look at Ted Kaczynski, Whitey Bulger. Go down the list. In 1953, ladies and gentlemen, the gold standard, MK Ultra. Oh, yeah, baby. This was under Alan Dulles, one of the best. The primary psychiatrist and doctor associated with MK Ultra was Dr. Louis Jolyon, Jolyon West. By the way, when I give you these names, please look it up. Don't take my word for it. Please, I invite you. Look, read. He conducted research into LSD, brainwashing, all for the agency in the 50s and 60s. Other key figures, big ones were, the big name is Dr. Sidney Gottlieb. Oh, yeah. Dr. Ewan Cameron. And what happened was, this is so terrific. Dr. Ewan Cameron, he was known for his psychic driving experiments at McGill, which were funded by the CIA. Gottlieb was a CIA physicist who headed the MK Ultra program. And it was one of those things, by the way, MK, so that you know today, it was a name. The MK was part of a technical sort of a designation. It wasn't mind control. It was like a prefix. And they gave people the idea of what department I was in. It had nothing to do with mind control. People still believe it. But this went on then, and somebody, why would any organization that did this then not do it now? And there was a really fascinating piece that came out that said that they could have perhaps maybe used the introduction of vaccines and the like to determine what would be the best modality to introduce this into people and the like. Now, when you tell people this, remember, if more people are watching snowball fights on cable news or hearing about, whatever it is, they're going to think you're crazy. Why? Because they've never heard of it. They've never heard of it. Try to go to YouTube. It's the biggest cable news show ever. The biggest cable news network. And say, would you mind if I did a piece on how our intelligence agencies go citizens that will look at you and say, excuse me, what? You want us to report against our government? You know who we are. You know our bread and butter. We're red, white, blue. We don't talk about stuff. That never happened. In fact, right now as we speak, even with ChatGPT, they'll tell you, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. That never happened. Even they, you know how this works? That's why the phone, back to the phone, 800 phone, you're going to do something.
Hey, Lionel. So, in college, I did some coursework on factoring and other things that are found in dietary foods and medicines and stuff. And something with the stock of this stuff. And this lobby government to allow them to feed it knowingly that they cause poisons, cancers, to put this stuff in foods and so they can play with it knowingly, so they allowed them.
Let me stop you right there. If you ever tried to say this, if you ever tried to stand up in front of people that are, oh no, this is good. I didn't know if you talk about aspartame, sterile labs, and Rumsfeld, and the usual story. How they cause cancer? They will say there's absolutely. Find me the study that shows it causes cancer. Go ahead. Good luck.
No, it was squash. That's all I have to say.
No, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's a great way of saying something doesn't exist. If I said to you, the unicorn, actually there are all, but the government that study. So it makes, and I'm not saying it's not possible. Let me ask you this question. For Bobby Kennedy Jr. right now. We're going to get to the bottom of this. mRNA would go in and rework, recalculate, recalibrate genetic information. My God, nothing. What are we talking about? Red guy number 3. He's taking his shirt off. He's going to pull out his talking about beef towel. What are we doing here? I think this is a waste of time, but I am not in any event an anti-vax. I've never been against a vaccine. Never. Anybody who tells you they're against a vaccine is crazy. Particularly what's in the I've never been against anyone who even suggested Pasteur and epidemiology. But you're going to have to understand, where did it come from? How did Fauci get up there? Whatever happened? Why did we just forget all about whatever happened to all of those poor people who were put on ventilators unnecessarily? What about them? The people who died on ventilators. Congressional by Congress immunity. Would you like to drive the new Blaze mobile? Would you like to do that? Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. If the brakes fail, Congress basically granted them immunity. You can't sue the blaze motorcycle. If the blaze breaks, you wouldn't get in. You wouldn't get in. But we walked in like lemmings and saying, cattle, just zap us, give us boosters, overdrive, dude, yes, more, yes. What is it? I don't know. Beats the hell out of me. Oh, I've got more to say on this. On the other side of midnight with Lionel.
Other side of midnight with Lionel. This is the Worldwide News Network Extra. Thank God the snow is finally melting, but have you seen what's left behind in New York City? It's downright disgusting.
Nobody can go anywhere.
Slamming a big line complaints from all over the city.
Take care of things because it's send it to solid.
The city sanitation department will hand out tickets to those who don't pick up after their pooches, but they have to catch them in the act. This is a notoriously difficult crime to enforce against because we have to catch someone in the act. When there's a uniform sanitation enforcement agent there, people are not getting the benefit of your WABC's Staten Island law firm of Aunt Julia Gentili John time is 222. For 40 years, the Staten Island law firm of Aunt Julia Gentili has been helping people just like you. Call 718-816-0005 or visit aglawnyc.com. It's the 77 WABC Minicast. You want it all. And you can have it now. It's the 77 WABC Minicast. Everything you need to know in 10 minutes or less. Download and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. In under 10 minutes. More news, more talk, more music. WABCRadio.com and the 77 WABC app. The other side of midnight with Lionel.
How about the days that they were off now, huh? Wow. I have a shooting list. You ever see me act like that? It's right behind the ear. Don't worry about it. No questions. Whatever happened to that? Have we ever had these people before in the old days? We say, hey, Chubby Checker, stop it. Or, no. Hey, Bobby Rydell, that's enough. Maybe Elvis might have been, maybe because he was overweight and on drugs. Which I, by the way, would have loved to have saying that. Our number is 800-848-9222. My friend, a couple of years ago, if I had told you this, or maybe now, you would say, he's doing this crazy kind of stuff. What is he? There's no, the government is not involved in brainwashing. What's the matter with this guy? What side is he on, right? I'll never forget the best when Pizzagate came out. This was the greatest. It came out during when? WikiLeaks. That's Rich, WikiLeaks. Who was it? Assange? Maybe. I don't know. What happens if somebody comes to me and says, hey, listen, do me a favor, somebody in say HR comes to me and says, can I talk to them? Yeah. Here's a little thing here. Here it's Asian. Yeah, well, look at have you ever seen Blaze's email account? No, I haven't. He has over 200 emails where he's talking to this guy Gary about onion. Over and over. Did you bring the onion with? Did you get the onion? We only have 4 Can we share the onion rings? Are they battered? I don't want them too early. Don't put any hot sauce on the onion rings. Next email. I got some more onion rings. Now, what do you think? What do you think would happen if somebody was, excuse me, what are you talking about? This means something. No, it doesn't. Tell me. So-called men don't talk about onion rings all day long. What is this about? What is this, a drug deal? If the government thought you were insider trading or if it was fraud, they would, believe me, an agent would say, excuse me, what is this? But if you're John Podesta, nothing. They can go back and forth. Did you get the pizza? Is it deep dish or thin crust? I don't know about that thin crust. A little too cheesy for me, you know what I mean? I'm not sure. Is it coal oven or I don't know. Better check that undercarriage. But now, you know how that happened, right? So during WikiLeaks, they dropped this. Nobody ever denied them. Nobody said, excuse me, I didn't write this. I didn't write this. So what does it mean? What does all this talk mean? Well, guess where the exclamation came from? One of our friends at Fortune. These people say, you know who they were? They're all in Saudi. Yeah, this is not illegal. Not illegal, but this is, let me interpret this for you. And then the FBI came up with their own PDF and explained it. It was there. I don't know. And they said, you're out of your mind. They talked about Thomas Hancock, remember them in D.C.? The owner had their pictures of kids. What if you walked into a pizza place, pictures of kids with their arms out on the table, duct tape or that were like wrapping tape? What's going on here? What is this place? It is just bizarre. But they said it's a conspiracy. And the best part about it was that they went to all of the usual suspects, cable news and others, and said, don't you even think about this. Okay, boss. Yes, sir. No problem. Don't you even, I know you heard all this. Oh, no, that's not it. Sat around and I didn't make this up. Nobody said anything. So who are they? Who are the aiders and abettors? Who are the people who, of course you don't understand this, who are the people who actually act in concert with who? Snooze! Those are the people. Snooze! They're sworn to this. Whatever you do, don't bring this up. Just let it go. Ray is going to scintillate you with this story. Go ahead, Ray.
Good morning, Lou. Comments on the beginnings of the surveillance state. A year and a half ago, someone stole a license plate off of my car. And I've been driving around with it ever since. And every month I get hundreds, even thousands of dollars in tolls.
What do you do about it?
Tickets. And parking violations.
What do you do about it?
Camera violations.
I understand. I understand. What do you do about it?
So you tell you other places, you go to the police, you go to the DMV, and they do absolutely nothing.
No, but how many times are you getting these things?
Twice a week. Twice a week. I get at least 3 parking tickets a week. You go to the DMV every Sunday.
I understand it. You don't have to bring it down for us. Here's my question. You think somebody would say, all right, let me see, come here for a minute. Turn your raise now. Let me go to my computer. Okay, ready for this? Here's your old number. 1, 2, 3, ZB. Okay, you got it? Now watch this. Gone. You are no longer connected with this. No longer. Nothing. So anybody, so the next time this guy gets caught, the ticket comes on you. No more collection agents, none of this. You got it? You got it? Why is it so different? I don't know. I love the way they say, well, we don't know what to do about it. But the surveillance is everywhere. Everywhere. My friend lived in China. One of these, private guys. She wanted to learn the culture. Well, lo and behold, she's in this neighborhood. She's nowhere. She locked herself out of her apartment and did something. She lost her keys and was no back. Somebody said, "What are your local fees things?" Whatever the Chinese version of it. Maybe they did. Okay. So she showed up and said, "Hi, listen, pardon me. I left my stuff." They said, "Oh, no problem, here." And they basically came around and opened it up. It was a while ago. This is the police. You see, years ago when people wanted to talk about things like surveillance and, dystopian 1984 because what happened was, in this left and right dichotomy, a lot of the folks who were conservative thought that people talk too much about liberty and surveillance, that these people were lefty. Like that's lefty. You got that? They actually believed this was lefty. Thomas in Ireland, on the other side of England, Lionel. Franklin Pierce or John Hunt? Oh, you didn't specify. You're in Ireland. You're in Ireland, are you not? I'm joking. Thank you so much. 800-848-9222 and the E-Man. Funny, hilarious. We may not laugh now, but I don't know, a couple hours from now, it'll hit us, and we will be felled in this by the way, it's good to know that Yuri, you can tell him anything you want. Yeah, my name is 243 from Uranus. Okay, you're next. 43 Uranus. He believes you. Whatever you tell him. That's not real. You know who that is. You know better than that. Yeah, Jesus Christ from if they're not, we've got to break you out of gullibility. You can't trust Benny and Bayside. Benny on the other side of me, whatever that is, we're right here. I'm going to tell you, sometimes you hit foul ball, but you hit home runs today. I want to hear more about when I hit foul ball. Speaking of foul balls, what about hitting a foul ball? Somebody. Meaning, you throw a joke out there and just hit the foul ball. Now let me ask you that. Are you using yourself as the arbiter of what isn't it funny? I'm just curious. You know, I know it's funny, I know it's not funny. And sometimes your timing isn't what I'm There's the real reason why it's for. What is the real reason? The real reason. Not the reason, but the real reason. For surveillance. As far as surveillance. Yes. About 22 years ago, down in HD, and I sat down at the table and I got account cards and I was joking. I walked out of that casino. I don't want to say casino. I walked out of there with about $200. Wow. Broke the bank, yeah. My life. About 4 years ago, I sat down at the table, I changed $100. I put $25 chip there, and then I put another $25. And literally, a guy goes behind me, he goes, "How you doing tonight?" Any problems? I go, "What's that any problem?" He goes, "Is there any nasty kind of thing?" I go, "Not at all. My nice client." And you what happened? What happened? Meaning, this is 10 years later. What did you inside grabbing by the back of the brand? You said, is there going to be any mask?
Myth. Oh, adding your traffic.
Oh, math. M-A-T-H? Oh, English. Just curious, is that a recent venture of yours?
I'm sorry, I can use speaking.
Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
That's a good choice.
How did you know that he knew anything about your prior incident years ago?
As long as he said, look at me and be mad.
How do you know that they found out what you did 6 years ago? And you weren't caught then. How do you know? Work with me. How do you know that he was referring to what happened 15 years ago?
Why would he come up to me and if it's
Because you're a bad card counter. Because you're giving away because they're watching you and they know. And by the way, card counting, as you know, is not against the rules. It's their discretion. It doesn't matter. Once you started, what if you were so bad and so obvious that they didn't know 15 years ago? They didn't say, hey, that's that guy on our magic book that we have here. They knew something else was wrong. And for you to jump to that conclusion and say, aha, it was because of what I did. Talk about hitting a sour note. All right, my friend, let me talk about something else, which is important. Let's try to go back, other than these riveting stories about license. Now, if you're going to be a part of the city, what Donnie and these other people are interested in is changing the way you think about it. See, first of all, I got to bring you back. By the way, some people have never been able to explain to pronounce his name yet. As of today, they still can't do it. The thing that he wants to do, or he should be doing, is changing your attitude. And one of the things that he needs to do is to get you to believe that what he is doing is going to benefit you, is going to help you. What would be the best way possible? For example, let's assume you worked for him. And they asked you, I know you wouldn't want to do it, but they said, whether it's him or Mikey Sherrill or Donald Trump, it doesn't matter. What would you do? How do you change? The first thing you have to do is you want to make them beg. If you think that all of a sudden they're going to just come to you because of logic, or because they have some epiphany moment where they say, I understand, or no. Now, one of the best ways possible is for you to involve yourself in this wonderful thing called the Hegelian dialect after Hegel. Pretty simple concept. Sounds kind of but it really is. The classic way to pronounce it, the classic way, is thesis, antithesis, synthesis. Forget that. Get rid of it. You have problem, reaction, solution. Now, everybody in my team, and the conspiratorium, we know about this, we've known about this for, and it works something like this. Number one, create a problem. Whatever, literally, accentuate it, cause it, create a problem. Nobody does anything in their house. Nobody does anything when things are wrong. Create a problem. Number two, wait for them to react to that problem. For example, crime. You want surveillance? Sit back and let crime go. Pull off pull the cops, help the back off go out. Watch residential burglaries go up, assault, crime, little things. I heard something before about people worrying about the super laws and broken windows, whatever it is. Let it go up. And then create the notion that things are worse. And what you do is you bring this up, you bring people, and make sure that you have all the operatives in the news business perpetually. You stop people on the street, you say, what do you think this is terrible? Did you know on the Upper West Side, did you know that in Patterson, did you you know, in Aryan genetics, Aryan. And you start to create this idea that, you know what, things are bad. Yeah, you're right, things are bad, okay? So the problem, not a reaction. So then you come forward and say, we will help you. We will help you. But one of the things we're going to have to do to stop this crime is to perhaps use a little bit more of an aggressive tactic. We're going to do more stop and frisk. We're going to do more, we're going to stop people. We're going to be a little bit more intrusive. We're going to be, well, we're going to be a little bit more hands-on. Okay? Hands-on. And people will say, we'll do it. And that's how it works. Problem, solution. The problem reaction about the solution. The solution always is going to be something where we're going to take away your wealth. We're going to do something. With our guy here, that'll be the solution. The problem that we're having is that he doesn't know what he's doing. He hasn't defined himself. He didn't build a lot of stuff. Was a better lefty, he was a real social, a real honest to God guy in the wall, as close to a card-carrying comic as you're going to get. He really understood the series behind it. This guy does. He's from Central Castle. Just like Elon Omar and others, they're not. I think Elon Omar cares about, but I'm thinking more of AOC. You think more care about liberal policy. Stop it. As soon as I can make money, you notice that? All of them, as soon as they make money, that's all they need. But there's also something called, think about this, the Overton window. This is one of my favorite concepts. Remember, please make a note of this. It's okay, you can listen to what I'm saying, you can maybe, I don't know. But imagine there is a sliding window. You have different scales. You have different groups of people, dare I say, different levels of problem, from negligible to problematic to, and then everywhere in between. And the key is to find out how far can I go, and how far can I change the way people respond, what can I do? So what I do is I come up with this notion called the Overton window. Not Ovaltine, that's something. And it was developed by our good friend Joseph Overton in the 1990s. And if you're a member of the conspiratorium, as I am, you will know about it. This is a model that represents the range of, let's say, policies or ideas or whatever that are deemed acceptable in the mainstream public. Things that are acceptable, things that are okay. At any given time. And it dictates the limits of political activity, restriction, and it shifts over time to make once radical ideas mainstream. Remember, if I had told you years ago that there would have been gay marriage, drug legalization, you would have had drag queen festivals in public, you know. Remember there was one week where there were these drag shows, and these terrified kids. They don't do them anymore, but for one, seemed like a week. If I told you this would be the norm, you would have said, no way. The window shifted, but through what's considered strategic advocacy media. You see, the stages work like this. Imagine a policy, a spectrum, and you have something that's unthinkable, then that shifts to radical, then acceptable, and then sensible, and then popular, and then policy. So you got it? Something starts off unthinkable, crazy. Then it's not that crazy anymore. The window shifts. Now it's radical. Okay, it's a little bit different. And then acceptable. The thing is, the window, this Overton window, keeps shifting back and forth. So what you're being told is you're becoming used to this more and more. And there's another step called habituation, the combination. And what that is over a period of time, you become used to this. This makes sense to you. In the old days, gay marriage, who cares about gay marriage anymore? This is different. This is about transgender. Then transgender went eventually to the idea of neutering and puberty blanching and interruption. And it's crazy talk. That's what happened. And look where we are right now. So the next time they introduce something new, by the way, 245, my friend. Mr. Blaze, it's 245, and I'm very concerned. Call the police. I'm going to welfare check. 245, and he's not here. Something's very wrong. You know what I suggest? I think drugs. That's me. That's what I mean. So you see what's happening? Little by little. Think of what you're used to. Think of what you're used to. Think of it. And what you can accept now. Imagine talking to your grandfather now. Hey, Grandpa! Wow, I thought you were dead. Well, anyway, welcome home. What's new? Well, Trump's president. No, Grandpa, wake up. No, Grandpa was no, he's president. Twice. Actually, 3 times, but that's a different story. But what have I missed? Well, men are changing their gender. There was a debate. There was a woman who was running for Supreme Court Justice. She was actually, by the way, she's going to be the biggest flop. I mean, she's the Mamdani. Ketanji Brown Jackson or Jackson Brown. Just, I mean, 246, okay? 246. 246. This guy, anyway. Next is going to be somebody even more demented and more strange because you become acclimated to it. You see where this is happening? This is all being crafted. Now here's the best part. What do we do? Everything I mentioned to you so far is the left. It's the left. It's the radical left. It's the, whatever you want to call it, the social. The conservatives, the right wing, nothing. By the way, just as an aside, you know what stuff plays when you look at your phones and the top 2, it's like, has it gotten this bad? Has it gotten this bad? Have we really, we have scraped the barrel, my friends? You would never think that with all that's going on right now, we would keep going back to the well. Anyway, and I'm going to call myself a Republican even though I'm not. I'm an independent, but we don't do anything. Answer my question. What's your Republican? Nothing. President Trump does all. He does all the heavy lifting. What do we do? Nothing. When was the last time we marched? When was the last time Republicans marched? Not went to a Trump rally. Not went to a rally, but marched. Started at one part of the city or around the nation. When was the last time? Can you think of anything? When was that? The Tea Party didn't march. There might have been a little things here and there. No, Tea Party. What? Who was president then? What? Coolidge? I'm talking about something in modern, the Tea Party, but these people walking around with the tri-cornered hat, some of that, and the tea bags, and what the hell is that? That's terrible. That's my point exactly. The Republicans are nothing. They don't do anything. They talk a great game. Oh my God. And let me tell you again, you know what the problem with that is? It's the people in the Republican news who tell you how great things are. Boy, we showed them. Wasn't that State of the Union terrific? Didn't that change minds? No, it didn't. Didn't do anything. Nothing. No. Trust me, we got them on the run now. Really? Really? You want to talk about the midterms coming up? No. So here's what I'm saying. Who is in charge of our mind control? Where is our policy? Where are our operations? Where's our CIA? Where's Bluebird? Or, MK Ultra. What do we do? Nothing. Let me explain something to you. If you care about this, and I assume there's probably a greater chance that you might be a conservative type. Where is the teams of people that go out there and educate, re-educate? Where is it? Who's going out to the school? Who's talking to the young people? Who's going out and explaining to them what? Charlie Kirk before they killed him like a dog. It was such an actual threat to the left because he was the guy who went out, notwithstanding that wife of his, but who went out and said, I want you to believe in conservative ideology, the Bible, God, staying home, being conservative, being old-fashioned, doing the right thing. Women stay home and take care of your kids. That's why his wife, that everybody loves, they know nothing about her, she's the one, I don't even think she knew her kid. Was Charlie Kirk, did they bury him? I don't know. It's all about her now. Where is our burden? Where's our property? Where? Who? What, Kid Rock? Oh, here's fun. I'm dead serious. We're talking about the hockey team over? What? Who's going on to explain to kids why it's important, like Charlie Kirk did to explain why the flag is important, patriotism is important, the Constitution? Who? We don't have anything. I'm giving you example after example after example of mind control and menticide, which is used, which is in place. Why can't we ever use this for our benefit? Why can't we ever use surveillance to benefit us? We don't do anything. We just react. And right now, I'm telling you, as we speak, they're gearing up for a very scary midterm. And you know what the Republicans are doing? Nothing. They're just watching TV. And they think because this show is number one, whoever it is, that translates into political popularity. And political, it doesn't. And I'm constantly screaming, wake up. What's going on? I don't understand. Remember, everything that our mayor, Mamdani, is doing now, he said he was going to do it. He's not kidding. He's not lying. He said, this is exactly what I'm going to do. And he did it. And we just said, wow, these people are crazy. Maybe they are. You understand what I'm saying? I want some brainwashing. I want to start using our own MK Ultra. I want to take everything that we've learned throughout the decades and use it this time in our favor.
The other side is midnight with Lionel. Greg Kelly here. Donate now to toysfortots.org, working year-round, delivering hope to children at Christmas time and beyond. In 2024, Toys for Tots provided over 30 million toys to nearly 13 million children in need. Donate now, please. Go to toysfortots.org. Since 1947, Toys for Tots has distributed 708 million toys to 314 million deserving children. Working year-round, Toys for Tots. Donate now. Go to toysfortots.org. That's toysfortots.org. This is the Worldwide News Network Extra. The NFL will head south of the border this upcoming season. The league announcing the San Francisco 49ers will be the home team for a game in Mexico City. The Mexico City game will be one of a record 9 international games played. Also games scheduled in London, Madrid, Melbourne, Munich, Paris, and Rio de Janeiro. For the Worldwide News Network, I'm James Flippin. Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Hot Dog with Captain Ed Mametz and Detective Kevin Schroeder.
The whole story about the Nancy Guthrie burglary, robbery, kidnapping, what have you.
I think I'm more flustered now than I was at the beginning. Could have been a home invasion, could have been a sexual assault. I just don't know. I think the whole thing with the Bitcoin demands, that's a red herring. I think that's somebody that's not involved in this, somebody just looking to make a score. I have some issues with how things are conducted out there. I mean, they released that crime scene after 2 days. You have a crime scene like that, a case of this magnitude, that thing gets locked down and it stays locked down. We had some major homicides over the years. We locked up locations for months at a time and kept the cop on them 24/7. Out there, you got the Domino's pizza guy making the delivery to the house. Like, what's going on here? Not a fan of that chief. He was on there the other day saying, oh, I'm exhausted. You know what? Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform. The Other Side is Midnight with Lionel.
All right, my friends. Lionel with you. This is the other side of midnight. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to see who is out there. And the phones are piling in, thank God. Alan in Delaware, you're on the other side of midnight with Lionel.
The March for Life has been going on since 1974 and continues through today.
Where is the March for Life, sir?
Generally in Washington, D.C., annually, around the 22nd of January every year.
How effective has it been, do you think?
I think it's been very effective in conjunction with prayer in overturning Roe versus Wade.
And also the Constitution came along, and thank God for the Dobbs case.
Absolutely.
Alan, do you think I suggested at any time that there has never been a march, or there's never been anything, when the No Kings movement acted en masse in multiple cities all over the country, the signs and big, it was like, and of course it was covered by the media, which is another problem. Do you see anything that the March for Life has done? And by the way, God bless them. But are you kidding me? Why is it that conservatives or Republicans or whatever, why don't they get off their arse and march and go out and make noise? Why don't they do that?
Well, I maintain that the March for Life is...
Okay, thank you for that. We're sick of the March for Life and the March for Life, and I don't want to hear anything about anybody else because there's the March for Life. That's it. And that will take us through the next 25 years for this annual march in Washington regarding abortion. And abortion is a very serious thing, but that's not it. Maybe one of the problems that we have is that we don't understand basic ideas of being able to generalize what I'm trying to say. Yes, there were some marches. Yes, we had January 6th. That was an attempt. That was a trespassing gone wild. Dirty Red. You're on the other side of midnight with Lionel.
Lionel, keep it short. I didn't hear you mention anything about Ancestry.com, Google. People apparently get their DNA.
No, Google doesn't give. No, that's 123andMe and whatever. No, Ancestry.com is genealogy.
Oh, anyway, people give away their DNA for free.
Okay, there you go. That's true. All right. That is important because your genome, you're giving it. Who owns that? China. Or China. I ask people, why did this? Hey, look at this, I'm Scandinavian. Hey, look at this, I'm 25% Portuguese. We knew that. Yeah, I know, but here it is. Hey, look, I wish you'd have like intelligence. Oh, look at this, I'm 25% imbecile. I thought so. That was the biggest scam ever. And people now take this huge meta database. What they're doing is they're going to say, one day we're going to come up with different means of biological warfare to particularly target people based upon their genomes and DNA profiles that they voluntarily handed over. Coming up, more. Let's talk the end of American culture. And let's see if we can get through this one. I thought it was very clear last time. Every time I think that, well, you have a way of disproving it. Coming up, the end of what we call culture. I hope you can dig it.
77 WABC's Staten Island law firm of Anjuli and Gentili John time is 2:59.
The Staten Island law firm of Anjuli and Gentili, helping people just like you for 40 years. Walk with confidence. Call 718-816-0005 or visit aglawnyc.com.
This is New York's talk leader, the crown jewel of talk radio. WABC New York, WRCR Haverstraw, 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays. News first at 59 past the hour. 77 WABC News starts now.
Increasing cloudiness on this Thursday, February 26th. Good morning, I'm Lisa Ritchie. The Cuban Coast Guard opened fire on a Florida-registered speedboat, killing 4 and injuring 6 others. Florida Republican Congressman Carlos Jimenez is demanding a full investigation. The Cuban embassy in the U.S. said the boat was detected in territorial waters near Cuba, and when border guard troops approached the vessel, they were shot at. The New York Times is reporting the incident involved a U.S. citizen boat that was part of a flotilla to get family members out of the island nation. A Democrat from Texas was escorted out of Tuesday night's State of the Union address. Monica Nelson has more. Congressman Al Green held up a sign that said black people aren't apes, a reference to an AI video shared early this month by President Trump that showed former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as apes. It's the second time in 2 years that Green has been ejected from the State of the Union address. Last year, Green was ejected after he shouted at Trump while waving his cane. I'm Monica Nelson. Once again, officials flood the home of Nancy Guthrie as the month-long search for her continues. Liz Radabali has the latest. A wave of officials were spotted Wednesday outside the Tucson, Arizona home where the mom of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie was last seen. Around 10 investigators total were on the scene, going in and out of the home. New York Post reports one of the men was wearing an FBI uniform. No word on why cops were back at the home. The family on Tuesday upped the reward for her recovery to $1 million.
And every hour and minute and second and every long night has been agony since then. Fearing for her, aching for her.
Cops believe the 84-year-old was abducted. She was first reported missing on February 1st. I'm Liz Radabali for 77 WABC News. Friday is the deadline for families to sign up for pre-K and 3K programs in New York City. Mayor Zohran Mamdani says families with children turning 3 or 4 years old this year are encouraged to apply.
It's a free program that takes more than $20,000 a year off the backs of working families.
Every family that applies by the deadline will receive an offer. Since applications opened in mid-January, more than 75,000 families have applied for 3K and pre-K seats. Mayor Mamdani continues fielding questions regarding a snowball fight targeting NYPD officers. As different narratives emerge, the mayor is doubling down on what he perceives from videos circulating social media.
The snowball fight that got out of hand, I believe that our officers, just like any city workers, deserve respect, and I think these are the views that I've shared both kind of in public as well as in any conversation I've had.
2 of the officers were hospitalized with cuts to their faces. Wall Street saw more green on Wednesday. Set of earnings after the bell. John Terran explains.
After the closing bell on Wall Street, NVIDIA, the chip maker, gave us their earnings. Lots of excitement and a bit of worry when they were published about 11 minutes late. They normally come out at 4:20 Eastern, about 4:31, 4:32, something like that. But when they did, they seemed to pretty much across the board. The NVIDIA stock was up 2.2% in the aftermath of that news. The company saying the demand for computing is growing exponentially. On the markets, Dow, Nasdaq, and S&P all firmly green, and Bitcoin surging to around $69,000 per token in the New York trading hours. You're at 77 WABC News.
A new study shows eating lots of oatmeal for a short period reduces bad cholesterol. Michael Castor reports.
A study out of the University of Bonn in Germany had 32 people at risk of diabetes eat oatmeal on a low-calorie diet 3 times a day for 2 days. There was another control group as well on a calorie-reduced diet that did not include oats. The study found the group that ate the oatmeal resulted in a 10% reduction in bad cholesterol. Those results held for 6 weeks. I'm Michael Castor.
In sports, President Trump said the gold medal-winning men's U.S. hockey team is a symbol of America winning once again. Trump invited the team to his State of the Union address in Washington, D.C. Tuesday night and promised a Presidential Medal of Freedom to the goalies. Your forecast overnight was partly cloudy with a low of 33 degrees. Later today, partly sunny, but we do see the chance of afternoon flurries with a high around 40 degrees, so not too much stimulation. Friday will be a good number day, mostly sunny skies, and the high of 10 to low of 40. Increasing cloudiness outside market
Light gray sneakers, short up the hair, boxes, height, 170 pounds, medium build, brown and blue glasses. Right. The domestic case?
What are, we have the right to life, liberty, and property? No. Wait a minute, you just said, you didn't let me finish. Well, what is it? You cannot be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process. What does that mean? It means I can take your life, I can throw you in prison for the rest of your life, and I can take all of your steps, so long as I give you a hearing and the opportunity to be heard.
561 medium build, blue glass frames, house hummers.
None of this, life, liberty, property, period, but only. And what it does is, it provides you, the only guarantee is a procedure. The constitutional rights are involving a procedure. The procedure behind which and take your property until you are prison for the rest of your life. There is no prohibition against that. None. None. But in 1965, I think, Griswold, oh my God, the worst.
50 Sergeant calling at level 1 mobilization, production prophecy, mobilization 25440, Netherlands, MLY, name, Ray Richardson, date of birth 8/20/1954, has been wearing maroon coat with formal clothes, the pants, light gray sneakers, short pepper hair, 5'6", 170 pounds, medium build, blue glasses with frames, house.
A little fine. Nobody enforced it. But somebody said, why don't you make a big deal out of this? And we're going to take this case to the United States Supreme Court. Let me ask you something. You have a right to commit an abortion? You have a right to an abortion?
I was Sergeant going at level 1 mobilization, action of prophecy, mobilization 2540, Netherlands, female line, Richmond, date of birth 8/20/1954, has been wearing a maroon coat with formal clothes, multicolored pants with hats, light gray sneakers, short pepper hair, 5'6", 170 pounds, medium build, wearing a blue glass frame, house hummers.
Color TV, no! Right to a car, no! No! There's no right! You don't have a right to that. The only thing you have is the right to have a hearing if I want to take that away from you. That's all. That's all. Somewhere along the line, and Nino Scalia, God bless him, I've always thought they took him out. How many of you think they took him out? He was there he was at the Illuminati hunting lodge wearing green capes, and they found him dead in his bed with a pillow on his head. And they and nobody, I think they did the autopsy over the phone. Don't get me started with that. But you would think, even Nino, who was phenomenal, and Bork loved him. Loved him. For reasons that have nothing to do with their let me go back. Let me see what happened with Griswold. So William O. Douglas said, you know what? Sometimes there are laws, there are rights that are so important. Certain rights are so important. Something may not infringe upon them, even if proper procedures are followed. There are some things that it's so important. And they talked about contraception and marriage and abortion. There are rights to marriage. You have a right to marriage, you have a right to marriage. Not really. Can a 10-year-old get married? Well, maybe some states. No, you have no right to this. Stop thinking there's a right. You don't need a right to do it, to be able to do it. Just because there's no right doesn't mean you can't do something. That's another thing. Why? Because we don't teach people this.